people today, and today I'm gonna tell you about Hardhat, which is a framework, JavaScript-based framework running on Node.js that allows you to develop Solidity applications more professionally than using something like Remix, for example. So it's more code-based tool. So this is me. I'm a senior blockchain developer. I have some experience developing blockchain projects. So if you want to contact me, please feel free. You can do it via LinkedIn or Telegram, and also for blockchain training services, please feel free and to book me via coding bootcamps. So what Hardhat has inside of it? It has a task runner which allows you to run pre-built tasks and also custom tasks, similar to JavaScript packages like Gulp, for example, or NPM runner. So it's kind of similar. And also Hardhat has a built-in test network, which is kind of like a simulator of Ethereum and blockchain. For example, before Hardhat, there was a very popular library called Truffle, and Truffle didn't contain its own network for testing. You had to use some other testing networks, such as Ganache, for example. And Hardhat has it built in. So what Hardhat basically combines several other tools inside of it. One of the most important tools is ethers.js library, which is similar to a popular Web3 library, but it's a little more better developed and now more popular than the original Web3.js. So this is the syntax that ethers.js uses. It requires you to specify a JSON RPC provider, which can be a URL to a mainnet network or some local host test network, like Ganache, for example. So in order for it to appear here, you will need to specify this RPC URL in your .env file inside the project, similar to this one. So you can see an example of this .env file where you can pre-configure all the necessary variables. So after you've done that, you will also need to provide the ABI for this library. ABI is basically a JSON file that is generated when you compile your Solidity code. So in order for ethers.js to pick up this ABI, you will need to specify the path to this JSON file. And after that, you can call Ethers contract factory, providing it with the ABI and binary also, and that was generated during the compilation of Solidity, and this wallet that you also where you specified the provider. So compared to the original Ethers.js, Hardhat allows you to avoid many of the implementation details, because HardHat has a lot of conventions of its own. So, for example, it always scans for your contracts folder and for your test folders, for example, for specific files, for Solidity contracts or JavaScript tests, and it can pick them up automatically. And also it has it's a built-in network, as I already told you, this Hardhat network. So for the basic testing purposes, it's not even necessary to explicitly provide this URL with the JSON RPC provider. So it can just launch its own network behind the scenes, and you can just do this basic test deployment to this local network with just these 2 lines of code. So this is the basic HardHat functionality. And also HardHat has a very rich ecosystem around it, which is very extensible using these tasks. You can create your own tasks using this syntax. For example, this task prints the current block number. So it uses this HardHat runtime environment, which is similar. It is basically the same as HardHat keyword, like in tests. So it gives you access to all these ethers functions. So you can fetch different kinds of data from the blockchain. And another popular feature that HardHat helps you with is testing. And it's very important to test your smart contracts, because you basically write them only once, and once they're deployed, it's impossible to redeploy the contracts. Of course, there are some workarounds, like creating proxies and some upgradable functionality, but it's not definitely easy to do, and it still requires some kind of quorum, maybe a DAO, in order to avoid decentralized risks. Because if you upgrade your contracts centrally, the contracts are not immutable anymore, and the very purpose of smart contracts is to guarantee the immutability of contracts. So it's always better to avoid upgrading contracts as much as possible. So this is why it's very important to test them. And HardHat also wraps other popular testing tools like Waffle, for example, library that gives you convenient functions and objects for testing blockchain. So here you can find tests. So the syntax is actually should be pretty familiar for any JavaScript developers, because these tests are built with the original Mocha and Chai testing libraries, so they have the same semantics as always, including this before each, before all, setup functions and describe for grouping tests, and it function for each unit test case. And this is assert, which comes from chai, so you can grab some data from the contracts that you deployed somewhere, and it doesn't matter where you deploy them to, but with this first line, not first, the fifth line, what it does, it checks if your network is development or not development, because if it's not a development chain, tests can take quite a long time to complete, so it's better to test contracts on local development chains like Hardhat, built-in chain, or Ganache, other than even test networks that are not on your local machine, because those test networks like Ringby or Coven or Gurley, they can be very slow because they require mining, similar to production mainnet. So and they're very close to real networks. Okay, so you can see this example reverted with comes from Ethereum waffle package. It provides this convenient syntax that allows you to expect errors, for example, inside your contract. So in this case, your test won't crash. Instead, it just expects crashing inside the contract, for example. So this is testing. Also, Hardhat has other tasks, built-in tasks like test coverage. For example, we can run this test coverage, and also additional packages. This coverage, you see this when you type Hardhat. Actually, we can type Hardhat. It will show you the list of all the available tasks. Here you can see that there's compile, for example, deploy, and verify, which we will discuss in a moment. So this is the list of all the available tasks, and as I told you before, you can actually create your own tasks that will also appear in this list. Okay, so probably our coverage report is generated, and you can see it's very convenient to see how many lines of your code in contracts in Solidity are covered with tests and how many are not. And also it also generates this web page report, which you can open in a browser, for example, and see all the details about coverage, including the lines that are highlighted, which are not covered, which are covered like multiple times, which is very convenient for development. Okay, another feature is gas estimation. It's very important to estimate gas that your contract consumes, because gas is basically money that the user pays for each transaction. So it's always a good idea to estimate the gas before you deployed your contract, so that you save some money for yourself and for your users. So Hardhat has this gas estimation feature. Actually, it was already around, because in our Hardhat config we have this gas reporter that is enabled. So it should have generated the report for us. I don't see where it is, but it should be somewhere in this folder. Gas report. No. Have we run the test? Oh, because we haven't run the test, we only run the coverage. That's right. So we need to run our tests in order for this to appear. Okay, let's run the tests. It should take some time, but not too much, hopefully, because we don't have that many tests. Yeah, you can see how this test report is generated, and also the gas usage report. And other than showing in the console, it also generated this more convenient file report, where it shows how much gas each method inside each contract consumes. Okay. Another very popular feature of Hardhat is verification on Etherscan. Unfortunately, I don't have my Etherscan keys here, so I won't be able to run it. But basically, how you run it, you type Hardhat verify and your contract and the name of your contract, and it will be automatically verified on Etherscan. And after it is completed, you can see that on Etherscan your contract is has this green check mark, which says that your contract is verified, which means that the ABI that you submitted and the Solidity files match exactly to the binary code that is deployed on a blockchain. For example, we can probably open some contract that has code in it, like this one, Lunar, for example. You can see that it's verified, and because of that, you can see all the code and that was submitted during this verification, including all these comments, because it just shows the original files that were submitted during verification. And because this contract is now verified, Etherscan also gives you this convenient methods for reading and writing to the contract. So you can see the name, for example, some symbol, and other publicly available functions. Okay, so these are the links to the Hardhat website. Also, Ethers.js, you still need to use Ethers because Hardhat only a wrapper around Ethers. It doesn't replace it. It only extends its functionality, and also you can use Ethers in your browser, not only in Node.js. It's also possible to use the same library in your JavaScript code in the browser on the front end side. And I also recommend this awesome video course by Patrick Collins, which where I borrowed actually these examples from, because they're very good examples showing many and different features, not only Hardhat, but also it tells a lot about basic Solidity and JavaScript development. So I highly recommend it. And also it has a lot of code examples where you can see and even copy and paste some of these examples to your projects. And that's basically it. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Any questions? Oh yeah, sure. It's here. I can also copy and paste it, and it's actually, yeah, here in this chat, and this presentation will be available as well. I think it's probably 2 or 3 years old. Previously, before Hardhat, all this Node.js development was done mainly with Truffle and Web3 libraries. I think I would highly recommend Hardhat because first, it's very popular. I probably won't find the diagram now, but I saw that Hardhat has like more than 50% of this of the audience among developers of decentralized applications. It's much more popular than Truffle, and actually this second popular is Python-based Brownie.